welcome. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute jack-o'-lantern backed pumpkin. I really hope you enjoy this, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up and give this a like, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe. I really appreciate all your support, and don't forget to connect with me in the comments below. Let me know how you got on, if there's anything else that you want to know. So to make our jack-o'-lantern backed pumpkin, I've got 4 grams of core wool. I've got some orange wool, I've got a bit of black, I've got a selection of needles, I've got a pipe cleaner, and I've got some purple and some green because I'm going to put a bow on this, but I haven't quite decided what colour at the moment. So I'm just going to pop those off to one side. And I'm going to begin by folding my pipe cleaner in half, because actually we're only going to use half of this. So let's chop that in half. But if you're following me for my other jack-o'-lantern tutorials, keep this half of a pipe cleaner, because we're going to use it for our jack-o'-lantern spider. Okay, so then I'm going to fold the half in half, like so, and then I'm going to grab some of my core wool and I'm just going to wrap this through the middle of the pipe cleaner quite tightly. And then felt that to secure it into that a small ball shape. Turn it over, remember to felt both sides. Just be careful as well of your pipe cleaner that's in the middle, because as we've said before, these have got wire in, and so if you hit your needle on that too hard, it's going to break. Right, once that's on and covered, we're just going to grab some more of your core wool, and we're going to use this to build up to a pumpkin shape. Okay, so now I've needle felted my core wool base for the pumpkin. Next up, I'm actually going to cover the legs. I'm going to try covering these first this time. So I'm going to bend up the end of the legs and just tuck those in, just so there's no sharp bits. Trying to make sure I'm keeping them the same length. And then I'm going to grab my black wool and just wrap this round the pipe cleaner nice and tightly. And then just grab my needle and felt this on. If you find it easier, I've got a little foam block here, which sometimes I find easier. Once you're happy with that's felted on, okay, we're just going to do the other leg. Once you've felted on both of your legs, next up we're going to grab some of our orange and start covering the pumpkin. So I'm just going to pull a bit of this off and begin. I'm just going to felt this underneath between the legs. And then just loosely felt that on, and then I'm going to wrap this round. Felt that there. Around the legs. and then bring it round. Just felting it onto the core wall as you go, trying to make sure that you're covering as much of the core wall as possible. Now that I've got that covered, I'm just going to grab my single needle and just go round the legs to make sure that I've felt those down and into the core wall. And then I'm going to use my multi-needle tool to just go all round the orange and secure it to the core wall. Right, once you're happy that's all attached, next up, what we're going to do is decide what you want to be your front and your back, and then you need to look, so I can see that this is more rounded and curved there and this is flatter. I can also see that there's a bit of core wall coming through there. So I'm going to grab some of the orange and just build this up a little bit. So now I'm happy that I've built this up and I like the shape of that. I might just add a little bit more to the sides. So again, I'm going to use some of my wool and build those up. Right, I'm happy that this is all covered and I'm happy with the shape. Next up, I am going to divide this like I did with my witchy pumpkin. I am going to divide this into 6 sections. So I'm going to split it like that. Then I'm going to find what I think my middle point is. Let's just flatten this out. I think it's about there. And then I'm just going to create an indentation with my needle. Then I'm going to bring this round to each side, not all the way, just sort of halfway, maybe just slightly further. And then I'm going to divide the this into 6 sections. So I'll go the halfway and then I will do 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're just going to create your indentations by doing short little stabbing motions with your needle in a straight line. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and again find where my middle point is, indent that, and then I'm going to work from that point round to join up my other lines. Right, then once you've put all your indentations in, next up what we're going to do, I'll straighten my legs out and have a look and see if there's any bits, like I feel there's a little bump missing there. So I'm just going to fill these in by adding little bits of orange wool, and I feel like I need a little bit more coverage there because I can see some core wool peeking through. So just add these bits in and just even up the shape until you're happy with it. Once you're happy that you've filled all the bits, all we're going to do is we're just going to go over all of our lines now just to make sure that they are clearly defined. So once you're happy with all your indentations and your shape, next up, we're going to work out where to put the eyes. So I'm going to grab 2 needles and I'm just going to place those where I want the eyes to sit. Then I'm going to grab my needle felting needle and I'm just going to try and create an indentation round these. Once you're happy with your indentations, grab some of your black. Just roll that, you only want a little bit, into a little ball. And then pop that in the socket and just grab your needle and just poke that in. And we're going to do the same with the other one. And then I'm going to get a thinner bit, roll that between my fingers, and then I'm going to go round the outside of the eye. Right, then once you're happy with your eyes, I'm going to grab a little bit of white, roll this to a tiny ball between my fingers, and then pop that in the middle of the eye. And I'm going to do the same on the other one. And then once you're happy with the eyes, I'm going to grab some more of the black. Again, twist this between my fingers. And then decide where you want your mouth to start. And felt that across. Twist in to where you want it to end. And then just go over it all and felt it into place. You have this end bit here, so if you need to go back on yourself, you can just twist and push it in if there's any places that need thickening up. Then when you're happy with your mouth, I'm just going to give this a little couple of fangs. So I'm going to pull off a tiny piece of the black, do what I did before and roll this in my fingers. In fact, I'm going to go with a bit less than that. You can always add to it. Decide where you want your fang or fangs, and then start pushing that in. And trying to create a bit of a point on the end. And you just poke away until you create a tooth shape that you're happy with. And then we're just gonna, I'm gonna do that again and do one on the other side. There we go, then we've got our two fangs. Next up, I'm going to create the bat wings. So I'm going to pop this off to one side and I'm going to grab some of the black. Split that into two. And then I'm just going to get my needle and try and felt these flat. I'm going to leave one side open, or unfelted, I should say. Peel them off, turn them over, felt both sides. Have a check of those for size. That's probably quite a good size. Grab my single needle to go round the outside and start to neaten it up and get a bit of a shape to it. I'm just gently going round, pushing the outside fibres inwards. Then I'm going to try and create the same sort of size and shape with the other piece. Check them both for size. They're about the same sort of size. Now, it's up to you. This is a bit lighter in places, so depending on how thick or if you're all right with your wings being a bit see-through. If not, just grab some more wool and just felt this on to patch in any bits. When you're happy with the size of your wings, next I'm going to try and get these into like a wing shape. Carefully peel this off the mat, turn it over and work it the other side too. Check that against there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to try and create some little indentations at the base of the wing. To give that sort of scalloped effect that bat wings have. And I'm just using my fingers to hold it in place and poking the needle up and in between. And then turn it over and do the other side as well. And then when you're happy with your shape, we need to try and get the other one the same. So I've just turned this one upside down because obviously the other side is going to be the opposite side. Once you're happy, they're both the same sort of size. I'll try putting them together and see if you're happy with those against your pumpkin. I'm happy with those. So next up, I'm going to pop all those bits off to one side and I'm going to start felting some little ears. Again, I'm going to use the black. And I'm going to start with just felting these bits together nice and flat. Once all the fibres have started to felt together, grab your single needle, go around the edge again, and I want to try and create a bit of a point at the top. I want quite nice big ears, so I'm quite happy with that for size, but it's, as you can probably see, it's a bit patchy, so I'm going to add some more in there, some more black in, and thicken it up. Grab my spiral needle just to neaten up the edges. Yep, that's a good size. So I'm going to try and create another one of those. Once you've felted two ears that are the same and you've got two wings that are the same, next up we're going to start putting it all together. So I'm going to start by trimming up my ears, because push it off to one side, there's a little bit of fluff just round the outside and I just want to neaten them up a bit. So I'm not actually chopping the bits that I've felted, I'm just trimming off any bits that are annoying me. Do the same with the other one. Once you're happy, we're going to grab our ears and then we're just going to decide where we want those. I'm going to use my spare needles just to hold those into place. Where I want them. Just want a little gap in between them. And then once you're happy with the positioning of those, we're then just going to grab our needle and start felting those in. I'm going to go across the line. So I'm doing this from behind, just going across the line where it's sitting on the pumpkin. I just pulled that bit in at the side slightly, so I'm going to do the same with this side, and again just go over it. Check it from the front to make sure you're happy. You can always give these a little felt from the front if you need to just position them properly before they're too felted in. Right, now they're both attached. I can remove my needles, and then I'm just going to push up this spare bit of unfelted wool and just push this in at the back. And then in to the pumpkin, just creating a nice neat edge. And to have that bit at the back of the ear is just going to give it some support to help it stand up. Check it from the front, make sure all is still looking good. By all means, just go across at the front and poke that in too. Bits of fluff there, remove those. Once you're happy with your ears and they're attached, we're then going to move on to our wings again. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to pinch it up, grab my spare needle and just position it where I want them to sit. I'll take the second wing, decide where you want that. I quite like that spacing that I've got there. So now I'm going to felt these in to our groove that we've got there. Just going over the line again like we did with the ears. Check it from the front. When it's attached, just pull it out and then try and get the other one the same, right? And then check them from the front, and once you're happy, then we're going to do the same. Push the end part in and give the wings a bit of support. You can also do this from the front. Once you're happy, they're both attached. If you need to neaten them up a bit, then obviously you can just go around with your needle and neaten them up. And then I'm just going to grab my scissors and just trim off the fluffy bits around the edges again. Once you've finished trimming your wings and round your ears, we're going to then fold up our feet. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more black to make those a bit wider. Just going to pull off a piece, fold it in half. And then felt that on just to the bottom, not to the actual leg this time. I just want the feet to be a bit more of a webbed shape. Just going to grab my little block. And then I'm just going to do the other one to match. Once you've attached both of your feet and you're happy with those, next up, one last thing to do, I'm going to add a bow. So I've chosen my light green. Also, please note, I've tried to clear off as much as I can of the black fibres that were on my needle felting mat, because otherwise these are going to attach to the green and they're going to show, because obviously it's a light colour. So I'm going to do this bow in a similar way to I did this one in my witchy tutorial. So I've got a piece of the green. I'm going to grab my needle, just felt through the middle. And then I'm going to fold it in. And then just felt the sides out. And do the same with this side. Trying to make them even sort of size. Peel that off. Just go the other side as well. Still got a couple of black fibres in there, but check the size. I'm happier with that. I'm just going to felt it a little bit more to try and neaten it up. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of the purple, pull off some of this, and then I'm going to wrap this through the middle. Trim off that excess. Felt that in at the back. Right, I'm going to do what I did before and just go round and snip off any fluffy bits. Once you've trimmed it all up and you're happy with the shape, next up, we're just going to attach this. Put this where you want it. I'm going to go in the middle and then just felt in the bow in where you want it to sit. Straight through the bow into the pumpkin. I'm just going to go at the back. And there you go, we've attached our bow. If you've got any of your curls left, you could always pop those in as well, which I think I might do. Just give that a little felt into place. That's attached. And there we go. There is our little cute jack-o'-lantern bat pumpkin. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. And if you enjoyed this, I'd really appreciate if you give a thumbs up and hit the like. And if you want to see more like this, please hit subscribe. I really appreciate your support. And also pop in the comments below. Let me know if you made this. Thank you.